Okay, all right. As my man Denzel would say, okay, all right. Put your shoes up. Anyway, today, let's get ready to catch that A train. We're going to be studying thoracic cage and thorax, and maybe some contents of the thorax. Got my whiteboard markers. Have my notes and objective sheets. And I think I have my pipe cleaners for some demonstration stuff I thought of real quick. And also, let me give my man, Mr. Allen Poe, first name Edgar. Yeah, let's get ready for all this. So, all right. So today we're going to talk about the thoracic cage. Thoracic cage consists of your ribs, your vertebral column, and the part that houses. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Part that houses your lungs, your heart, and some other structures as well. Got my objective sheet right here. Putting it down. So first, let's make you familiar with. Oh, sorry, I got my hat in the building. First, let's make you familiar. Let me take this off too. With the bones of the thoracic cage. Sorry, Edgar, we grabbed you in your pelvis. But okay, so you have your sternum. Sternum consists of two parts, well, not two parts, three or four. Your body, your xiphoid process, manubrium, and your sternal angle. You also have your ribs. And does anyone know how many ribs you have? If you said 12, then you're right. If you said something else, then you're wrong. And contrary to belief, I know there's a lot of my Christian friends out there, my Bible friends, but we all have 12 ribs, man. I mean, I know what the Bible says, and I know you guys may hate me because of what science may have proven, but we all have 12 ribs, men and women. So, yeah. All right, enough of the... No, so we have 12 ribs total. This black is horrible. 12 ribs. So ribs 1 through 7 are called your true ribs. Ribs 8 through 10 are called your false ribs. And ribs 11 through 12 are called your floating ribs. So the reason why they call these, well, they give these ribs certain names is because ribs 1 through 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, attach directly to the sternum. So that's how you know they're true ribs. Ribs 8, 9, and 10 just attach to the cartilage that are attached to the sternum. So they're called false ribs. And then ribs, I'm not sure y'all be able to see this pretty well, but the last two are floating because all they do is attach to the vertebral column and they somewhat float right there. So, yeah. All right. So, let's talk about the fascia layers of the ribs. So, fascia. Can anyone tell me what fascia is? If you said it's a piece of, well, it's a sheath of tissue. So tissue sheath. Can you see that? Oh man, sorry, writing too high. It's a tissue sheath that covers a muscle. In the thoracic cavity, we have not definitive, but we talk about certain fascia layers. Excuse me, going through puberty or something. Voice is cracking. Fascia layers. So our first fascia, most superficial. So we get superficial to deep, in anatomy, that's what you always do. Superficial to deep. You have your first fascia you would encounter would be your pectoral. Oh my gosh, pectoral fascia. It's purple. It's dead too. Let's try the red. Pectoral. Red's horrible too. Sorry guys, I didn't know all my markers would be so shitty today. Excuse my language for all my kids who are younger. So what did I say? Pectoralis. Pectoral, pectoralis, fascia, whatever. Deep to that, you have your clavipectoral fascia. And then the deepest one you have will be your endothoracic fascia. So the clavipectoral fascia sits on in between two muscles. So within your chest cavity, you will have the stuff that make your, if I can't really do it right now, but Terry Crews can, your pec majors, pectoralis major, and your pec minor, pectoralis minor. So let's say someone was a great fencer or something like that, and you guys were fencing, and she stabbed you in this region. What layers would you go through, superficial to deep? So you would like pectoralis fascia, pec major, clavipectoral fascia, pec minor, and then your endothoracic fascia would be the deepest fascia layers you will go through. And if you had some alien pops out your chest, you just do it from deep to superficial. Here's somebody. Oh, let's see what we'll learn. All right. So the main thing, there are two, not main organs, but two important ones that are housed within the thoracic cavity. You have your lungs and your heart. So I'm going to talk about what muscles of the thoracic cavity will have an effect upon your lungs. So let's try to draw this out again. So, you have your sternum, xiphoid process, body. So that's your manubrium. This is your body. This is your xiphoid process. And this part right here is the definitive part. This is called your sternal angle. And that articulates with the second rib. See right here. So your first rib, second rib, you can see, hold on, let's see if we can zoom in to my man, Edgar. Oops. So you can see first rib, second rib, sternal angle, body, xiphoid process, and all that goodness. Oh. Guess I can zoom this in some more. Just right a little bit lower. Anyway, we're going to go to the ribs now. So we're going to make a little rib cage really quick. Yeah. So, does anyone know the part of your body that actually, besides your lungs, well, not besides your lungs, the part of your body which helps you breathe? It's a very specific part. If you said diaphragm, you are correct. So the diaphragm sits below your thoracic cage in like a dome shape. And this is, let's see, spell this right, diaphragm. there's a G in there. Silent G, like Django. Well, not a G, that's a D. Sorry. So the diaphragm is innervated by a nerve from spinal segments C3, C4, C5. Most people know the little saying C3, C4, C5 keep the diaphragm alive. Okay, so when the diaphragm contracts, you would think that it will push, but it actually descends and flattens out, which causes your lungs, the lung size, to increase and causes negative pressure, negative P. So this causes some oxygen to go into your lungs. And that's the diaphragm's process, and that's the diaphragm. Sorry, I should be writing a little bit better. I'll write a little bit lower. So that's how the diaphragm helps with that. But there are some muscles on the rib cage which actually help you out as well. So I'm just going to talk about your true muscles. Am I writing too big again? Too small? True muscles. Sorry, I got a wedgie dance. The wedgie dance. A true muscles. Sorry, that was kind of. Gosh. So you have your external thoracic. No, your external intercostals. Your inner and your innermost. Now, what we needed to learn, see my objective sheet, was the orientation of these. So, and I forgot to tell you again, this is from superficial to deep. Oh, I forgot one more. Most deep to this is transversus thoracis. Okay, so let's get my main man Edgar again. So we're going to start off with the externals. So how we learned this was basically the externals are the muscles which have an orientation that kind of go from lateral to medial. So they kind of go like if you were holding your pockets. So they kind of go like that. So if those were your pockets, like, okay, boom, right in there. So from external to medial. Let's try to do this again. Oops, I should have been a little bit better prepared. I'm sorry it's taking forever, but you know, whatever. You can turn it off if you want to. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you ask me a question on this so I can explain it a little bit better so I can be better for my next exam. Okay, so that represents the external. You have your next two layers, your, the inners and innermost. Sorry if I can untwist this thing. So these are deep to your externals on the outside of the thoracic cage. So this would be your inners, and these kind of run medial to lateral. So if you're going like in your back pocket, you just it's like wiping away your cape or something like that, or opening your jacket when you're like, you're popping out your robe in Vegas or something like that. So these are deep to externals, our inners. And then we have our innermost, which run the same way, but these are going to be within the rib cage. Put it in plain makes sense. So yeah, these run the same way and kind of have the same function as that. I'm not really going to talk about functions yet because I'm not really talking about nerve supply yet either. So, and then you have another set of muscles. I don't really have another pipe cleaner. I guess you can have one. I guess I can find one. But you have your transversus thoracic, which is inside of the rib cage, which basically the function is not known. I'm trying to read this too. Sorry. The function is not known yet. They believe it's from some proprioception stuff. And these attach to the second to sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 intercostals, and right next to the sternum. So peristernal. Yeah, if I can draw it like that. It's kind of weird, but hopefully the example, I'll have a better one next time if I do this again. So yeah, I guess we can ask another question. So let's say you were at the bar and you were having a knife fight and you were trying to defend your mate's honor because someone was talking trash, and the person stabbed you on the lateral side of your rib cage. What layers of muscle would you go through? So let's say you're at the 7th intercostal. So what layers of muscle would you go through? So from superficial to deep, you have your externals, your the inner, and the innermost. Those are your three. You wouldn't hit your transversus thoracic because 1, it's not so far on your side, and 2, like I said, you're at the 7th, and this stops at what? The 6th. So let's say the bar fight gets a little bit more intense, and you're at the peristernal. Boom! Somebody pulled out a gun, shoots. What layers would you hit? That's when you'll hit all 4 of these layers. So up in a nutshell, that's the way your thoracic cage is built. Hopefully it didn't take too long. It kind of did, but oh well. And if you like it, yeah. And I appreciate y'all helping me study. The A train is coming, and I'll see y'all later.